Hello, everyone. Welcome to How Do You Spirit? And our special guest today is Nicole. Welcome, Nicole.
Welcome. Thank you.
And we are going to have some fun. We are going to be talking about aliens. From what I'm hearing, Nicole's kind of the resident alien expert.
It's a good show.
So give us some of your background before we get started. You've written books. Tell us about Nicole, yourself.
Okay, I've written about 30 books. Not all of them are published. Well, 30 or so are published.
Wow.
I'm an indie published author, so I publish them myself.
Wow.
But
Impressive.
Thank you. And some of them are space opera with, extraterrestrials, and some of them are urban fantasy with witches and sorcerers and stuff like that.
Wow.
I have 2 little kids. I went through a divorce a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I went to college. That was fun.
Just recently?
No.
Okay. Way back when.
20s, yeah.
Okay.
So, but I've been in publishing for a while, and then I'm mostly a writer and a researcher. I research a lot of stuff, and so about 4 years ago, 2022, I went to Taco, who's sitting off screen.
Yeah.
I call her my psychic.
Yes, we all do.
I always like to say my psychic Taco, and then people are like psychic Taco.
Wait, how does that fit?
I know. I'm like, I do wonder where Taco got her name. She needs to tell me someday.
Someday she'll have to tell that story.
So she's been helpful because for like 10 years I was an atheist. I was raised Mormon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, in Utah, right where we are. And then I left and was basically I didn't believe in a soul or anything for 10 years. So it was kind of a palate cleanser.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started going through what I would call forced awakening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they're ever not forced.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. You're right. It was like pretty brutal, but it was part of the divorce process too. And that was when I started going to Taco because I was having metaphysical experiences that I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Energy, I didn't know what anything meant. So it was basically I was learning everything from ground zero.
Uh-huh.
Like, I was having telepathic experiences with people, and
when you say people or alien people?
I hadn't had any of those yet. Those came later, but it was one human that it was happening with, and that was basically a catalyst for me kind of starting to research first quantum entanglement, because I did believe in that, because I was going to be a theoretical physicist when I was in high school, but then I'm just not very good with math, and that's a big part of physics.
Right.
Wait, so you're like, your knowledge is out there. So tying this all in with the alien stuff, it's really intriguing.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, I think it's really interesting too, and so that's probably part of why I started writing science fiction. I always wanted to be a physicist. I took a lot of astronomy courses, and I worked on this thing called the LIDAR beam at Utah State. I went to Utah State. You guys, either of you go there? Okay.
No, but we know of.
Yeah, there was this thing there called the green beam, and I worked on it. All I did was turn it on and off, and it's a LIDAR beam, so it's like a laser, but it's a combination of laser and sonar. And it takes atmospheric measurements, and so I felt like I was in Star Trek.
Wow!
When I would work on it, I would stay up all night and open the hatch on the roof of the student building the building it was in, and then I would close it at the end of the day. But it was quite powerful, and it was just taking measurements, and it sounded like a hum. I felt like I was on the bridge of the Enterprise.
Yeah.
I'm a nerd. I didn't even realize I was a nerd. I always just thought it was cool. Because I also played soccer and did rock climbing. Those are cool things.
Right.
But no, I'm a nerd. I'm like... So anyway, that was college, and I guess and why I ended up writing science fiction was because I love space and...
So with all that, how did you... And when did you start getting involved with the alien stuff and all that research? Have you always kind of researched that along the way, or has it been more so lately?
Well, so I always believed the aliens were real. I just
Me
didn't
too.
know anything about it, really. I didn't. Growing up, I watched X-Files religiously, and I would stay home on Friday nights because I'm like, when are they going to finally freaking show the aliens? They will. Like, when are they going to finally, when is Scully and Mulder going to finally have solid proof?
Right.
And I would stay home, watch that, and then I would watch Star Trek, The Next Generation, and Star Wars and stuff. But I didn't, so I kind of would always assume aliens would look like us, But
that's what I
didn't,
assumed too.
Yeah, like why not? I don't know. I mean, I guess there are lots of aliens. There's aliens that don't look like us, but there's humanoid aliens. But I didn't really get into that again because once I got into college, I was taking more of a practical, logical approach to space, studying it, and then after my awakening started, somebody. Taco would say, you like to write about urban fantasy and sci-fi because you're an alien. And I didn't really think she meant it. She's like, it's because you're an alien.
You're a hybrid.
I just didn't understand what she meant.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm still learning everything. I just don't know. I had no grounding. I didn't know. Because I was also trying to decide about divorce. And that was a really hard time. So I was everything was falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And her saying that I didn't understand.
You just kind of brushed it off. And
yeah. Like, okay, sure. She's like, you're channeling your stories. I think she told me that too. And then I was at an energy conference and this woman, I was studying dragons for a book. So they're in my urban fantasy book, Dragons. And their frequency was kind of, I guess, getting to me. I was like, I'm going to buy this dragon that's a crystal. And I couldn't decide which one to get. And this woman said to me, said something about dragons, and she's like, I can see you're a starseed or something, and I didn't know what that meant. And she was like, I see you're lion, because I have big hair, I guess. I didn't really know what she meant. And so I was like, oh, what's a starseed? And she told me to get this book called The Sophia Code, and another woman had just said that to me about the dragons too. And that lady, her name was Juliana, she had the book and gave it to me.
Wow.
And then I started researching starseeds because I'd heard the term a little bit,
right.
But I didn't know what it meant. I'm like, what is this? Like, I'd heard it on George Norrie or something, coast to coast. And that was what really started then me going like, oh, okay, but I didn't really believe it. Because I'm, like Taco says, I'm a very skeptical person. It's astrologically, when I look at my natal chart, I have that, if you have a certain Saturn placement and Mercury, it makes you, that's your learning style, is to be a skeptic until
what is your placement?
Well, my Saturn is on my ascendant, which is Leo.
Oh, that's why you have the hair. Okay.
Yeah. you know astrology. That's awesome. And my Mercury.
I didn't know you was a Leo. That's cool.
Leo rising. I'm an Aries though.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but my Mercury is in my 10th, kind of in a 9th house stellium with Aries. So I have Aries, Venus, and Mercury, Aries, and Venus are in my 9th house, and so that placement I think makes it so my learning is vocal, partially verbally processing.
Yeah, it's like mixed with Sagittarius energy.
Yeah.
So, and then that's why you're also so into all of this stuff, because it's like philosophy and higher learning, I want to say.
It is, you're right. And I've been learning that a lot lately. I always was interested in astrology, but so that was where the starseed stuff started. I just kind of was like, I had already been meditating and I'd already like kind of experienced seeing myself as a blue being, but I didn't know that there were blue aliens necessarily, even though I wrote purple aliens into my story. One of them I have purple aliens, and so it just, I think Taco's right that you end up accessing soul memory that's kind of, and I do it in a channeled state when I write, and I'm not aware that that's what's happening. I am now, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Interesting. So let's dive in.
Okay.
Where do you want to start with? We're just so excited.
You start. I will talk forever. As I just noted, I am a Mercury Aries, so I talk a lot. And
she is also a Leo rising, but she's a triple Leo.
Ooh, like what? Big three? Like
right.
what?
I know, right?
Like moon?
All of them,
sun,
right?
All of them.
Rising?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah. So you guys will get along real well.
Can you talk about maybe the different
Types.
Start kind of with there and
We'll go from there.
go
Yeah.
from there.
Okay, different types of aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, or
Okay.
star seeds. I mean, I know people call them a lot of different things. I
Mhm.
don't know all the technical, but maybe just kind of start with just kind of what you know about the different types.
Yeah.
kind of
That's a
things.
great place
Sure.
to start.
Okay, so as you know, well, galactic history is super vast and huge. So what I've learned and what I know, and some of this what I'm going to tell you resonates with me.
Uh-huh.
So it might not resonate with you, but that might just be time or timelines, whatever. Like it might resonate with you someday. What I know about at this point is that there are like a human genome is made up of 22 star races.
Wow.
So we are not, and they did that. So basically, humans are kind of an experiment, an alien experiment. Is this okay to start with this? Is this
Yes.
all right?
No.
Okay.
Yes. Just go. Yep.
So there's 22 different star races in the human genome, and there's the Lyrans, which is like the felines. I don't know all of them actually. Don't have a paper here, but I know at least of the Pleiadians, right? The
Uh-huh.
Pleiadians,
I've heard that name before. Yep. Mm-hmm.
they look like us. They're
Okay.
there's in the Pleiades there's so many different planets too. So and I think there's like 400 stars in that constellation.
Oh my gosh.
You can't see them all, but so they're, and I don't know if all of them are populated, the planets around those stars. But when I say the Pleiades, I'm talking about the ones that look like beautiful humans. They're like tall and they're very healthy. They're genetically engineered so they can pick how they look.
Wow.
And those look like really gorgeous like humans, and I think they're pretty tall, usually 7 to 8 feet. I don't really know the exact heights. I haven't met any in personally. I haven't. Like
You haven't run across one?
Right. I mean, I would love to. You would actually see if you saw one, because there are some I think walking around on Earth, and if you saw one, you would notice it glow. They are very, very bright.
Okay.
You would notice. You would be like, "Whoa, this is strange."
They're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's like the Anunnaki, but the Anunnaki are a race, or they're more of a culture. There are inside the Anunnaki, there's like, and this is coming from Elena Denon, who interacts with Enki in person.
Mm-hmm.
And this is coming from, I had the book, I brought it if you want to show it or something, but this is coming from her book. This book, where's the camera? And she independently published this, by the way, and she's French. She's French. Her first language is French, and so she wrote this in English though, and so I'm pretty impressed. She's very, very smart. She's actually an Egyptologist. But the Anunnaki are like a culture versus a race. So there's within them, there's like reptilian genetics, and I can't remember the other one, and then ovaloid or something, I can't remember, and then kind of a humanoid one, and one other, I can't remember. It's reptiloid. Sorry, the words that she uses are really like blah blah blah. I'd have to get my book out, but anyway, the Anunnaki actually are one of the genetic engineers of humans. Enki was a geneticist, and then there's those guys, and Enki played a big part in the Human Genome Project stuff, and then there is the Andromedans. So the Andromedans are like a 12th dimensional, 12th or 11th. It depends on who's talking about it. But they're more of an energetic being, so they can condense type their energy into like a being, so that you can see a being and not just like a glow. But they're and a lot of this comes from Alex Collier, who was channeling them in the 90s. He was an Andromedan. Actually, he didn't just channel them. He says he went on their ships and stuff like that. But they're very advanced, and were one of the races that kind of started our solar system.
Wow.
to have life in it. Like they brought the moon here. The moon wasn't naturally formed, and if you kind of look at it, it's kind of like duh, because I mean, I'm not a physicist, but if I was, physicists would be like, that's bullcrap, but because we are in this perfect synchronous orbit with Earth, and the moon, so it's
That
like
makes
this one
sense.
thing. And
Yeah.
so it's like the perfect size for passing in front of the sun, and we get an eclipse and things like that, um then there's others. Let me think of some. Pleiadians. I don't know very much about the Pleiadians. There's Arcturians. The Arcturians are very healing race, and they're according to Debbie, Solaris, who she is an Arcturian starseed. She's the one that kind of introduced galactic Akashic readings to us on Earth.
Okay.
Because she went aboard their ship in like 2012, I think, and and that unlocked her ability to work with the Akashic records on the galactic level. But they're like purplish, I think. There's a lot of different colors, but they're a healing energy. They're a healing ET race.
Okay.
And so they're like a purple. So like somebody that's a starseed, that's a Arcturian, has like what Taco would see would be a purplish soul.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are a whole bunch, and within the humanoid race, the man race, they come from all over the galaxy, because we started our Earth, like galactic history, not just Earth, but like human, man, whatever, in Lyra, the constellation Lyra, and that's where the feline race, that's like, they look like, so that's one. I don't know, we just call them felines, but they're like tall, humanoid feline race. They look like
Does feline too mean like, is there female, male, like?
Yeah.
But
okay. Feline meaning cats. So the cat itself on Earth is a de-evolved version of the feline race. So Earth is this school, an experiment of life. I mean, there's a whole we could go through a lot of different angles with this, but one angle is it's this learning planet, and it's very, very dense, and it's like that so that we have a veil, so that we forget our connection to source, so that we can experience really, really dense emotions like grief and sorrow, and we can because we are love and light, right? So you don't feel that in your high state of being a soul when you're not in the body. You just love. And
so is that what the aliens feel? Are they just...
some of them.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder about that too, because there are regressive extraterrestrials, like the reptilians. Some of the reptilian races, the Greys are a reptilian race. We do have Grey. I think we do have Grey DNA in our genome. I'm not sure right off the top. I'd have to check my source, but I'd have to check.
Right.
I learn about it and then I kind of forget. And
right.
I have to look it up again because I study it, but
so much information. To remember.
Right, and on the galactic stage, there's so much that's happened, and time, once you get off of Earth and you get away from a body with gravity, time doesn't exist the same way.
Yes, exactly.
And that's also true with like souls. Once you incarnate, you are in a linear time stream, but when you're in a multidimensional state, like in a meditation, you transcend time. Do you guys meditate?
Sometimes,
yes.
Yeah. So when you go into a meditation, your soul is up in like love and that 5D consciousness. You don't feel time. That's why you could meditate for 4 hours and not realize it's been 4 hours or an hour. So then there's the Greys, and and I think I do wonder about that, because most extraterrestrial races are very, very advanced technologically, and though they're regressive, and they have a lot of control desires to control, and be separate, separation consciousness, unity consciousness. So like a lot of the advanced ET races, like Andromedans, and I don't know how far along they are in terms of like separation and unity consciousness, but I know like the Arcturians. Debbie talks about this. They live in unity consciousness.
Wow.
So they can connect telepathically and stuff like that. So
Have you ever connected telepathically with an alien?
yes,
Yeah.
it was and I think a lot of times, I don't know how it works, but
Mm-hmm.
because I know I have friends that connect with ascended masters, but I've never had an
Yeah.
ascended master show up and be like, "What's up? What's up, dog? Doing good on your meditation?" But so I'm like, "What's wrong with me? Am I not?"
I wonder
worthy?"
if we just overthink it a lot of the time and we can
True.
really just do it whenever.
Yeah, that was the surprise to me because I've been meditating for a long time. So there are so I was reading when I was investigating starseed stuff because I was like, what is this mean? Like, what is going on? Like, is this
Yeah.
why I've always been into aliens anyway?
Uh-huh.
And
There's definitely something there.
yeah, so I was studying starseeds and I just typed it into Amazon, starseed, and Elena Danon's, one of her books comes up called The Seeders, like Seeders.
Uh-huh.
And I started and I got it. And I like to read, so I was reading that, and that's where she talks about Enki, and not just Enki, but her whole history. She'd been abducted when she was like 9 by regressive ETs,
Wow.
and yeah, and so she talks about that and like how at that time she got rescued by a guy named Thor Hahn, and Thor Hahn at that time. So I think what happened though after that rescue, before she got taken too far away, they blocked her memories of it when she was a child, and then when she got older, I don't remember exactly when because I didn't read her first book about it, but Thor Hahn came back and they unblocked her memories, and so she then had a memory of meeting Thor Hahn, and he's like a soulmate or a twin flame or something for her, I guess.
But an alien.
Yeah, he's a Pleiadian.
Yeah,
alien.
okay,
He's really
okay.
handsome,
Mhm.
very, very good looking. And once she met him, she started having other experiences meeting, and she goes on their ships too.
Wow.
Not just like channeling, because a lot of people channel aliens, like, have you
Yes.
guys ever heard of Bashar?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the Wendy Kennedy channels the
Mhm.
Pleiadians
Yeah.
and stuff. So you can channel them, but channeling is only, I understand, like 80% accurate
Mm-hmm.
because we have an ego.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
Gets in the way.
So that was when when I was reading Elena's book and learning about stuff. She encourages you to like say something to the Galactic Federation of Worlds, which Star Trek was based on that, which is a real thing according to this stuff. You can always approach it as a like lore too if you're uncomfortable with it. I don't care. Like I like it all the way. I'm like lore.
Well, where do you think Taco and I talk about this? Where do you think all the mermaids? Where did all this come from?
They came from Sirius.
Yeah, right.
Those are Sirian. I forgot Sirian. I didn't tell you about Sirians. That's a Sirian race. Those are
Interesting.
the water worlds are around the Sirius stars.
See, I think Bigfoot is some type of
He's real.
interdimensional.
Yeah,
being
I
or
absolutely
Bigfoot is a
believe.
real
Yeah.
alien. He was an alien. Okay,
dragons. It's all
dragons.
connected.
Okay. Oh my god. Yes, you're spurring my memory because I'm like I get on the spot, I'm like I don't remember anything.
Yeah.
Dragons are an alien, so
Yeah.
dragons are part of the reptilian race. But so the reptilians that are evil, right? That the regressive reptilians that are the ones that didn't first come to Earth in the 40s, but in this current dispensation of time,
Uh-huh.
that in the 40s the reptilians came to Earth and struck a deal. I mean, this is in sort of an Ancient Aliens, if you ever want to watch that show.
I was just gonna like.
I love that show.
Same.
It's all real.
Same.
I love that show, yeah.
I watch it
So
too.
you've seen it when they talk about the
I've
first
seen,
UFO landings.
yeah, I've seen. Well, I can't recall that specific one, but yeah, I watched that show. It's so interesting. But go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, so, well, the first UFO landing was in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Okay.
And after that happened, they established, the U.S. government established this group called the Magic. 12 or 9, I don't remember the number. But that was that. Then they had a protocol for if another UFO crash happened. And that was what happened with Roswell. That's why they covered it up so fast.
Yeah.
But that was when the CIA started. Was from that. That was when it basically formed. I think, if I'm right, if I'm remembering this all correct. But those were the Greys. They were the Greys that did that. And there's another race that not very many humans know unless they've read Elena's books. They're called the Siakar. They look like a dragon, like a humanoid dragon. Like
Okay.
they have a big face that is got sharp teeth, almost like a dinosaur or dragon, but they're humanoid, and they like eat humans. I think I'm not.
Wow,
I haven't. No one said
scary.
that like they eat humans, but I mean they're meat eaters.
Yeah.
And, they are. They're the ones that made the deals with the United States government to allow abductions.
To allow abduction?
Yeah, because there's a hybrid agenda.
Oh my
gosh! I mean, the thing is like, is this what you guys want to talk about with the aliens?
Yes.
Like the agendas and stuff like that.
Oh,
I'm like,
we're just gonna chat for a while, and then we're gonna definitely have to have you back because there's so much.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so the Siakar, this is like. When I say the Siakar, we're talking about the Reptilians. They're a dragon race. Draconis, right?
Okay.
But they're not. So the lore sort of is that they're not from our universe. They're from another universe, and they got lost in one of their ships. This is the story they gave.
Okay.
We got lost.
Oh my gosh.
We're just like on a highway. We got lost.
We took a wrong turn.
And then they ended up near the Lyran constellation, which was where humanoids started incarnating, and they were peaceful people. So Vega, that's the star of Vega, is there. That's like the blue races that Hindu gods have, and they were vegetarians. They didn't eat meat, and neither did as far as I know, the Lyran felines that were feline, look like a lion.
Oh, really?
They were not meat eaters.
Wow.
As far as I know, and they were agrarian. They were kind of peaceful. They had high technology, but they were agrarian and peaceful. And so when some of these reptilian races showed up, they were like, "We're lost. Can you help us?" They were like, "Sure, let's help them out." And then I don't know how long the help went on, but then these reptilians then attacked the Lyrans, and that was when there was a huge diaspora in our galaxy of the humanoid races and the Lyran races, because the Siakars were attacking them. Siakar, I might not be right about the Siakar, but at least it was I don't have my reference material. I think this is how it went though. But then they did it. There was a diaspora. They had to evacuate. They blew up some of the planets. That's where our stuff about the Death Star comes from, right? Like that is a soul memory of echoing through the Akasha. Of like planets can get blown up. You can have that much firepower. It can happen.
Wow.
And so that was a lot of destruction. And so that was when a lot of the races they got in ships, and like there was a diaspora. And the humanoid races, some of them went to Sirius and Orion, and then Andromeda. And that's when. So when you look at like Debbie's or Elena's book that I brought, you see humanoid races, man races in different star systems, and they look like some of our races. So basically on our planet, some of the Southeast Asian races, the Indian races, the redheads come from a specific alien star race, because that's where they get the red hair. Some of them are Olmecs. They were Olmecs on our planet, and some of them were up in like the Ireland areas. Where redheads are.
Yeah.
And you can also see it in our blood types. So
I was gonna say, don't they have a certain like blood type?
Yeah, and I don't know all the details off the top of my head. Which you mean the redheads?
Yeah.
Probably. So Elena goes into this a little bit in her book too, which is like that the various blood types and then RH factors come from some of the different star races. So the Enki's race, Anunnaki, he used some of his blood to help to put into the humans when he was genetically engineering some of them. And I don't think he was working alone. I don't really know exactly how it was working, but some of the other star races were also working on the same thing. And so O positive and O negative, I think, come from the Anunnaki race, and that's why. And so when you look at like O negative, that's a really highly psychic blood type.
Okay.
O positive, Elena says, is good for. It's really easy to beam them up, right? Like in Star Trek, where it can what is the word? Defragment the body and then put it back together. So that body type, that blood type, is easy to pull up into a ship.
Oh my
without
gosh.
putting the ship down on the ground.
Wow.
So and then the other.
So they really teleport like Star Trek.
Yeah.
shows.
I mean, so Star Trek was channeled. Gene Roddenberry, if you don't know the lore, Gene Roddenberry was he was present during some channeling sessions. I think it was with people in the White House. I can't remember the exact story. But he was like hanging out with some of those people, and they were channeling I think Shirley MacLaine was there.
Interesting.
I don't remember everything, but there is an Ancient Aliens episode that talks about it too. And that's where he got information about the Galactic Federation of worlds. They call it just the Federation in Star Trek. They have a prime directive. So he got the prime directive from that channeling session as well. And in the prime directive is essentially that we won't interfere with species that are still evolving, that are like not technologically advanced enough to understand what's happening. And they do that so that they don't manipulate the race, which is what the Siakar did. They went against this like law.
Yeah.
They broke the rules.
Yeah, they broke the rules and interfered with Earthlings, and like and they, told them, we'll give you technology if you allow us to abduct humans, and that was the hybrid agenda.
Wow.
The hybrid agenda is that we are, this is what they say, like, our race is dying in the future. We're you in the future. And we have polluted our DNA so much that we are dying off. And so can we use your blood and DNA and start merging our DNA with yours? So we're just going to take a couple people. Is that cool with you? And they were like, and it was clearly a shady deal, but the people that were doing it were weakened. They were like, well, there was war going on, and they said, we'll give you technology, you give us some humans, it's fine.
We're just gonna trade.
And then they crash landed their ships. That was the trade, though. But see, when they did that, when they entered that agreement, I think Truman was the president at the time, and there was a guy that came, and so the Galactic Federation sent an emissary named Valiant Thor. Have you ever heard of the Val Thor?
I have
He's
not.
really handsome. That's always the most important detail.
Right?
Because again, sort of engineered humans that live they're always at a higher frequency than ours too.
Yeah.
So we're 3D. They're usually 4 or 5D.
Yeah.
And that's why they glow usually when you see them. Why they're brighter, because they're vibrating at a higher frequency. But Val Thor came to the United States government. He lives on Venus.
Okay.
Venus is populated inside, like inner Earth. So planets in our solar system almost always have an inner Earth or an inner planet. Like Uranus, Neptune, they are populated inside the core.
Wow.
And so is our Earth. That's where a lot of the races went, inside. That's why we're like elves live in the planet.
Yes.
Yeah.
So isn't it weird? Because when I started learning all this, I'm like, oh my gosh,
all the little stories you grew up with are true.
Yeah, gnomes are real.
Right.
I mean, everything is real.
Fairies, all of
and
it.
I keep imagining too, like you're talking about all these races, and I keep thinking about the hieroglyphics in the pyramids.
Yeah.
And how,
I've always been so intrigued with the pyramids.
What do you think about them?
Well, I keep thinking about how they have like humanoid type species that are like cats and just different animals.
Aztec was actually literally a female humanoid feline alien.
Wow.
She wasn't just a goddess. She was. Most of them are not gods and goddesses. They're just aliens. That's my take.
Yeah.
And because God, what is God? To me, God is source. God is all of this.
Yeah.
God
same.
is
Exactly.
That's why we can manipulate reality, because we're in the mind of God.
Yep.
And so God is not like the ET that's like, I'm gonna fiddle with this
No,
genetic. He's just powerful. So excuse me, the Enki and those guys, they have immortality because they have ability to take your soul out of your body and put it in a clone.
Okay.
They don't always do it. They have also ways to prolong life, and their DNA isn't.
Are those the healing ones?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so
what I
Enki's
thought.
good.
Mhm.
Enki's good. Like, I mean, he was participating in the genetic alteration of humans and creation of them back like 240,000. I don't know. I can't remember the exact amount of time.
Right.
But it was way a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the Sumerian kings list, there were kings that had reigns that were like 240,000 years,
Wow.
24,000 years.
Oh my gosh.
But he was the gods of the Sumerians, but they were ETs. They came here to mine gold, is one of the stories, and I don't know how true it is. I mean, in Elena's book, Enki's in it, and he talks about it, and he's like, yeah, I came here to do that, and we were mining gold, because gold has the ability to, I think it has so it's called monoatomic gold, and it has the ability to prolong their lives. I'm not exactly sure how they use it. Yeah. And so they were here mining it, and there weren't at that time, according to them, humanoids like us. They were like Neanderthal types. They were like between like gorillas and some of those primate sapient species, and they used them as slaves to mine the gold. And Enlil, so Enki has a half brother named Enlil. So in the Sumerian gods and goddess stories, you can hear about Enlil and Enki. And Enlil was the warrior, but he's half Siakar, the reptilian race. So his father they have the same father. His father was named Aten Ra, I think, or Ra, Amen Aten Ra. It's in the book.
It sounds familiar. I think from media I've heard that.
Yeah, so he is kind of, he's like he might be the god Ra in Egypt, but I can't remember for sure. But he was Enki's father. He still is his father, and he merged empires with this woman that was a Siakar, and they had a son that was named Enlil. So he's half Siakar. He's half Anunnaki, whatever, half reptilian race. And he was, when they were here on Earth, Enki started to not like that he was, I think, kind of, the story seems to be that, and it's in the book, and I haven't read it for a year or two, but he seems to have gotten like a pricking of his conscience. Like, I don't like that I'm genetically, necessarily doing this. I don't like this, what we're doing kind of exactly. And he'd used his own DNA, and they were making a human like us. That was what he was doing. And that's where Adam and Eve come from. And back then, Earth, in some of the stories, was called Eden. And it was a place where you could have multi-dimensional beings. Like, you could have sixth-dimensional beings here and fifth-dimensional. And they could all interact. And so Enki was like, let's not do this anymore. And Enlil was like, by hell, we're going to keep doing this. And then they had a war. And this might be the war that's in, like, some of the Vedic texts, where they might have used nuclear weapons.
Wow.
And that was when, so I'm not exactly sure on the timeline. Actually, not that book, but in the Cedars book, and Elena and Thor Han make a kind of a timeline of Earth's history. And so you can kind of look at that one. And, Debbie Solaris's timeline is pretty similar. She's channeling the Galactic Akashic Records, so I'm not really sure which one is accurate. They're pretty similar, though. So that's where, I've been talking for a long time. I'm really sorry.
No, you're fine. So the Akashic Records So is that they come from the aliens then?
No,
Basically, no.
It's kind of
Where
more,
does that come from? I guess is my question.
Doesn't it have to do with past lives?
So yeah, so it's kind of like right here on Earth, everything has an Akashic record. So if something has an energetic signature, that energetic signature is essentially its Akasha.
Mm.
Oh.
But I think, I'm not sure, I might be oversimplifying it, but it's like I had a time, there was this moment where I connected with my plant, one of my plants, and I got a download of its life. And
interesting.
like I got its entire, like, because it was a housewarming gift, and I was like kind of feeling lonely because I didn't have my kids that night, and I was kind of depressed. I'm like, God, I'm alone all the time.
I just want to talk to my plant.
I was like, I mean, I didn't do
love
that. Actually,
that.
I was like, I'm alone. And I was kind of like, my guides were like, you're not alone. And I was like, I feel alone. And then it was like, I was standing by my plant, and all of a sudden I looked at it, and it was like, boom, I saw this entire, its life history.
Whoa.
Since it came to my house, and I was like, was my plant just talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, okay. And then I started to think about it like a dog. I was like, I am not alone. So anything that's alive kind of has an Akashic record.
Okay.
Because everything is energy before it's physical.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're talking about the formation of Lyra and the Lyran species and stuff like that, that was not, they weren't dense yet. When they first got here into the solar system, they were just kind of energetic intelligences. So they were higher dimensions. So we think of it like, oh, I'm ascending because I want to be like God. Well, no, it's the opposite. You were already like God. You were already with God. You were already God, and then you got birthed from the source, which is light. You came down and got denser and denser and denser and denser.
Yeah.
Eventually, you were sixth density being or sixth dimensional being. So there's dimension and there's density, and density's talking about consciousness, and dimension's talking about space time, kind of.
Yes.
And then you came down. You kept coming down, and then you came down to the third dimension, to the third density, right? And then when you So that's the actual form, the way that the energy works. It comes from source and comes down and down and down. And that is in the Kabbalah. It's the tree of life. The Kabbalistic tree of life. When you look at that, that's what that's showing. Kether is the highest thing. That's God. And then you come down into the different realms.
Wow.
So, so everything has an energetic signature already. So that's what the Akasha is. But it's like the filaments between it, and it's got the data. It's like floating in the data. So when you have a ping, you guys ever get pings?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're like, ding, and you're like, oh my gosh, whoa. So it sounds like a download. And it is like your frequency, whatever you're doing, suddenly aligned. I mean, it might be more than this, but the way I visualize it is your frequency suddenly was like, boom, it was aligned with this idea that's in the ether that is ready to be born. Like TV,
oh my gosh, you're giving me the freaking
Tesla,
chills.
You know?
Yes.
So it's like I have an idea for a book, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that book idea is so impressive. It's amazing. And then if I don't write it, somebody else will, because that idea is ready.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they're aligned with the idea too, so they get the same ping, and then they present it how it works for them.
Okay.
Wow.
So that's the Akasha. It's like, and there's a Galactic Akasha Records, which is like, and our Akasha is said to be on the 6D. I think 6D.
Wow.
6D. So you can access it if you are in meditation and you learn the route to get there, which is just an energetic sense.
I have a family member that can do that.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you who it is later.
I'm like, I don't know this person.
So that leads me to a question, because this family member, she feels like she shouldn't share the information she gets from that. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, why not?
That's if it's meant to be, right? It's an idea that's supposed to come and all that stuff. Yeah. So that's
does she
interesting.
Get information about people?
I'll have to ask her. Not specifically. No.
So what information does she feel like she shouldn't share?
Any of it.
Oh. She getting pings and stuff a lot?
Yes, she did. I haven't talked to her about this for a while. It's been about well, 6 or so months, but she always felt like she shouldn't share the downloads or the information she gets from the Akashic records, which I found very interesting because I didn't feel the same. I thought, no, we should be sharing that information.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me, based on what you just said, we should be sharing that information.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, because I mean, I feel like we're a collective. So
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I really like. There's a guy I follow on Quora. He's like native, and his little titling or whatever his little title is, one of many who no longer suffers, and we're one of many. I like that because I see it that way too. I see, we are each unique in a specific way, but we're not special. We're not more than somebody else.
Exactly.
We're just different. And
Yeah.
so, and that's how one of the ways that you kind of can tell if you have an encounter with an extraterrestrial in a meditation, because if you're a starseed, which I kind of think is why they showed up for me, is because, and I didn't know, but I was just like, why did this happen? It just started happening.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was a learning experience, and I learned a lot. So it was kind of like this ET was my guide for a little while.
Yeah.
For about almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
He helped me get through some energetic experiences I was having with another person, another human, that were kind of manipulative, that I didn't understand because I was so new to understand energy and like working with it and feeling it. But you can feel their resonance, right? And if they are, but you never outsource to them or any other being what you know within. So when it's like when Taco tells you, does a reading, like you it still has to resonate for you. So if she's telling you advice like, hey, I think you should do this. You don't just go blindly do it because Taco said or an extraterrestrial said or whatever.
Always listen to yourself.
Yeah, so they will. There will be a resonance, and it's someone who feels that they're more special than you and looks down on you is in judgment. That's spiritual ego.
Absolutely.
And so like when the guys in the military were meeting with the regressive ETs, because there's always light and dark, and they play a role. And for evolution and expansion of consciousness, we need people and beings that are going to be like, I'm going to play the bad guy. Like, in this lifetime, I'll be the bad guy. And you be the bad guy. That kind of thing has to happen. But when they were going to the military leaders, they were greedy. It was all about greed and supremacy. Who's going to be the better person? Who's going to win this war? They started to have a military industrial complex, and they didn't want to give it up. So when Valthor, when they knew that the Siakar were here in the Greys, they were doing this deal. And I actually don't think the Siakar met with them because they're very scary, as I understand it. They're very beautiful. They're still beautiful. They still glow. They look amazing, but they're very powerful and scary is what I understand too.
Wow.
And the Greys, but there's tall Greys, and then there's the short Greys.
I think I've seen tall Greys.
What do you know about them? Yeah, like tell me.
I just had sleep paralysis, and
Wait, you met one?
I don't know, but
awesome.
I had sleep paralysis, and I just remember seeing these two tall gray aliens, but they were kind of like sparkly, like fuzzy.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't feel anything bad from them. Like I felt kind of just like they were just there, and then they just left. I don't know. It was really weird.
Was it in a dream, or were you awake? Were you in the astral realm?
I don't know. I just remember, I mean, maybe a dream, but I just remember I knew I was like having a sleep paralysis moment. But it wasn't like, I wasn't scared like I normally am when I have sleep paralysis.
Interesting.
And then I just woke up and
Crazy. Well, so there are aliens that are also considered gray or something like that, sort of like that are not dark.
Okay.
or regressive. So there are some that are like, and that there's some in that encyclopedia book, Galactica book, which Elena goes on their ships and they have like a database, kind of like a Wikipedia of aliens. Sorry, as far as what I understand, I mean, it makes sense. You would have that, right?
Right,
I would
yeah.
be like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go over to this star system. What race are we going to encounter here? Bloop, bloop, like,
You're right.
usually
Bing,
the Romulans, Vulcans, you know. So they are like, so there are some that are have evolved past control. So typically, these regressive ETs are typically about control, and sometimes they will do control in a hive mentality or a hive state. So that's what these grays were that were dark. So they
Okay.
are the ones that came to. It was the grays. So the tall grays are scarier too than the short grays. Like in person, the short grays typically will be like the slaves of the tall grays, and they are they're the ones that kind of do all the like abducting and stuff like that. And again, check your sources. Like if anyone's watching this, like I'm not the fount of all wisdom. I like I might be missing
You're providing great reference points, though.
Exactly. I might be misquoting some of the stuff that I remember. So I would always check whatever I say. But they struck that deal with the military-industrial complex. It was about greed, and then Val Thor came in and was like, "Listen, I'm from the Galactic Federation of Worlds. We want to we'll give you technology if you get out of this deal. The aliens you did that with are dark. They're regressive. They're about control. They're not going to honor their bargain with you. And please, like, reconsider. We will give you our technology if you do." And the caveat was that they were like, you need to stop warring. Because part of the reason, too, that they started intervening was because we had gotten the nuclear capabilities. And that has ramifications in other universes. Because
Interesting.
universes have you ever seen The Flower of Life? It's
I
a
haven't.
sacred geometry. It looks like
I think I have.
I don't have it right here with me, but it's like a whole bunch of interlocking circles. It kind of looks like a flower. But they're just spheres overlapping, you know.
Oh yeah, okay. I know
And
what you're talking about. Yeah.
That is the shape of universes. That's how they overlap. And so there's vortices, there's nodes where they intersect, and that's where you can get a Stargate or a portal to another one. And they're on our planet.
Wow.
Too. They're not just out in space. They're on our planet.
Yeah.
So that's why you'll have a space like Skinwalker Ranch, where there's a universe. Something's damaged there, or there's a portal or something.
Yes.
And it seems like it's not just a portal in time, space, but also in time, because things that come through are like dire wolves. Those are like several thousand years old. So anyway, nuclear war can impact other universes.
That makes
because
sense
it's
now.
molecular, right?
Yeah.
It's subatomic
And they're all
particles.
connected.
So
Wow.
it can cause these ripples in the field that don't just destabilize our universe, but
That
others.
makes so much sense.
It does.
So they were like, "Stop with the war. We'll give you our technology." And the military people were like, "No, we don't want it," because they're not going to stop. You know, China's not Russia. Whoever was involved at that time, and so they didn't get out of the deal. And Val Thor was living here for a while. He was living in the Pentagon.
Oh my gosh.
There were people that knew him. He flew down. He met this guy in California named Frank something or other. He ran across him and became friends with him. And Frank wrote a book about him. And he's still around. He's not. I don't know how old he is now. Because they don't age the same we do.
Right.
He lives on Venus though, and has a little family. It's so weird. Got a little family, some kids. They have tea.
Just
high
living
noon.
his best life.
Yeah, he's really good looking. I actually put him in one of my books. So I was like, this is hilarious. I was like, I'm going to put Val Thor in this. It's my urban fantasy series. I'm on book 4, and I'm going to put Val Thor in this book because it'll be funny. And I have my Lightbeard character think he's a brat. Thinks he's a pompous windbag. Not pompous windbag, Val Thor.
That's
So
so crazy.
that's why we don't have a good technology. Like the bad guys, the regressive ETs gave us their technology, but they just crash landed it, and then they weren't like, we're not handing you an instruction manual. You gotta figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
That's why Bob Lazar, you guys heard of Bob Lazar? Got hired to come into Area 51 and try to reverse engineer their ships. Because they didn't give him an instruction manual. So it's kind of like this hilarious, like, you idiots. Like, here's your technology.
Excuse me,
Good luck figuring it
Here
out.
it is, but have fun with it.
Yeah, you won't be able to figure this out for like 80 years.
So do you think, Taco's mentioned this before, that the aliens, our alien friends, are going to interfere with what's going on in the worldly events today?
I don't know. Taco told me what, I think she said it was you. Because I went and saw her on the 20th on the equinox. Solstice? What is it in the spring? Solstice? The spring equinox.
My brain's not working. I think it's equinox.
Poor thing. You're like so tired of talking to you. So I'm just going to do all the talking. You won't have to.
Oh, you're good.
So she told me what she saw, and I was like, it could totally happen that way. But, and she was like, it'll be before June. And I'm like, it'd be really cool if it was.
Right.
But, and I mean, you can kind of, like, every time something happens, well, Straits of Hormuz, I'm like, okay, maybe Taco's right.
That's me too. I'm like, wait, I don't know. And then something happens. I'm like, wait.
That's what she said.
Well, even if it so what will happen, I think, if ETs did disclose or did something at that time, it'll still take, 15, 20 years, 10 years, I don't know, for humans to really adapt to it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not everyone will believe it. People don't believe it now. I mean, you
Right.
have like, oh,
And then you've got AI.
They're gonna, some of people out there, you guys, they're gonna think we're nuts.
Yeah. They'll be like, what? Why am I watching this? But so have you talked about it on your video? Is that, or on one of your podcasts?
We've
what
talked
Taco
about
said?
aliens before. Yeah.
Never
Yes.
put names to them, but
Yeah, I think a couple episodes ago we did.
Fun. Yeah, I mean, I don't, so like, I had interactions with some, and I'm like, I don't really want to talk about it on the air because
That's
I'm like,
fine.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't want to give names to them either because
Right.
I'm like,
That's totally fine.
like, I believe them, but I'm also like, when I have had, like, in meditation, we all have a higher self, our
Yep.
soul.
right.
That's like our guide or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends that are like, you came to me in a meditation and did this and this and this. And I'm like, do you remember it? And I'm like, no, but I don't, it could have been my higher self. Because they get around. They're not just like hanging out. They can do whatever because soul is formless. It can go anywhere. And
Yeah.
so
Right.
I'm like, do trust what you experience, but realize I don't have conscious memory of it.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't put it past my cute little higher self. She's so sweet. She gets around.
But that's happened to me, remember?
Yeah.
So a friend had cancer, and I would send her healing energy.
Cool. Yeah.
And she told me one night, she's like, she goes, I know, you've been coming to me in my dreams and standing over me. I'm like, what?
But didn't you just say you were sending her healing energy?
I did, yes.
So she was seeing you in her dreams?
Yes, yeah. I was coming to her, and
And
I'm
you
like,
were surprised that she saw it?
well, yeah, because I still freak myself out, you know,
Okay,
we get freaked
I was
out.
trying to get my head around what was if you were like
Yeah.
disbelieving or you were happy? Or...
I was happy about it, but it's just more validation, right?
Yeah.
Because I do send healing energy to people that I feel need it or that ask for it or whatever. But when she confirmed, she's like, oh, I know, you've been standing over me in my dreams. I'm just like,
That's cool. Validating.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was validation.
Yeah, I like
But it
that.
just freaks you out because as we're talking about all of this stuff, it's out there, you know?
Wait, you mean like aliens?
The alien stuff and the energies and all that stuff.
I mean, I don't think, I'm like,
I'm 100% on board with it.
I know,
I
I'm
mean,
just like, it's real, so I don't really.
I've never questioned the aliens or Bigfoot or any mermaids or any of it, you know?
Yeah, you know what? Bigfoot's race comes from, I think, Mars.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
there was a planet where the asteroid belt is called Maldek, or depending on your lore or what what part of the world you're from. Some call it Tiamat.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's Japanese. Maldek or Marduk is, so those are two other names that people have given it. And there was a civilization on Mars and one on Tiamat. And I don't know if the one on Marduk or whatever, they had a civil war that caused it, or if it was a war between Mars and Marduk. But Marduk got blown up, and the souls that were living there started incarnating on Earth. Actually, and I don't know for sure. I think some of the Bigfoot species were living on one of those planets, and some of them came here to live. But I think they're in a different dimension. They're here on our planet, but they're in like a different.
Yeah.
So there's octaves within our dimension.
Yes.
So you've heard that, like the third dimension. I think it's 12, but it might be 8 octaves within that, and then you go into 4D. And 4D, there's, you go up to like, and then you're in 5D, right? And so I think that, and that's what happened too with Lemuria. So Lemuria was another continent. Well, it was called Mu. And this is you watch Ancient Aliens, right?
Yes.
So you know where Mu was. That it was, that was where the Lemurian race was. And they were like, I think they were kind of like the Vegan star races. So they were like the race in Avatar. They're blue, and they were like healing, very feminine energy, divine feminine energy. And Atlantis attacked them, but the souls that were on that planet started incarnating on Earth and infiltrated the Atlantean government and encouraged them to fight and attack Lemuria.
Wow.
And sink it, and that was when we fell from 5D into 4D or 3D. Well, I think we went into 4D first, then it went into 3D.
Wow.
And so those would be reptilian starseeds.
Okay.
So we have reptilian starseeds on our planet too.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, and some of them, I think Taco might have told you, some of them are kick out human souls and take over the body.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
And then they eat humans. I don't know. You might want to edit that out.
I just keep thinking of Men in Black.
Right.
With the cockroach.
I don't remember. I haven't seen it in a long time. Is that a guy that puts on the human skin?
Yeah, he climbs in the. Yeah.
That's
so funny.
That's the like third reference I've seen to that in like a month. I'm like, what is up with that?
That's so funny. Well, we have to wrap things up this time, Nicole, but thank you so much. And we definitely want to have you back because, I mean, we could seriously talk about this all day.
Yeah.
Like, I am so interested and so intrigued by all of it. And you are like a wealth of information.
Yeah.
Well, I love it.
Taco's seeing the starseed. So when I saw her last time, that was one of the things that was really interesting was that she can see the souls of the starseed people. And that was kind of validating because I was like,
Yeah, I struggle with the starseed thing sometimes, but I do believe in like all the of course there's aliens.
Yes.
Which part, the starseed part?
I don't know. It feels like because it kind of became like a clickbait term on YouTube. So that's how it's kind of like I don't know, like who do you trust with the information? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but I'm open.
I get that, and I think you should be.
Yeah.
Discerning about it because I didn't watch any of that stuff really. I didn't even know about YouTube stuff. I went to a book. I'm like, oh, you know what? Book. That's where I go for my information, a book.
Right.
I'm like,
I love that.
I'm kind of like, I was also skeptical of it too. And then, I mean, because even though I was getting that it's obviously what my soul is, I was like, do I believe this? And then Taco's like, the last time I went to her, can you explain what I'm seeing? And I was like, sure, maybe. Why do you think I could? She's like, because you're one of them. And I'm like, one of what? You know? And it's like, okay.
Like, I'm confused.
I get that. And it got more, it's like when you start to settle into truth or an idea, I am usually resistant initially. It takes me a long time and put that into my books, like the Awakened Witch series I have. I'm like, her resistance to new ideas or out there ideas.
Yeah.
I think skepticism is healthy because, you know, if you can't trust yourself, you shouldn't trust somebody else.
Exactly.
So when those
Yeah.
aliens were coming to our military leaders, they got the wool pulled over theirs. That's why Taco's thing, I'm like, I don't know, because when they come in as a savior, that is a dangerous, to me, a dangerous proposition. You don't know what will happen. And if you outsource you saving to somebody else, they can control you. And that's what they did.
Yeah.
And so we've had these bargains with them for a long time. And so I told Taco when she told me this idea that they would come in and intercept and save. I was like, that scares me. I don't want that. That might not be a good thing. And she said they would only do it so that we don't think they're going to destroy us.
Wow.
Because, you know, a freaking host of motherships showing up might be scary. You might be a little bit like, what? This Independence Day? Like, oh my gosh, run, get out the military. Like, do we have any nukes?
Right.
You know, so I don't know. Like, that's a good point. But I feel like those fleets of ships are already in our atmosphere.
Oh, absolutely.
We just can't see them because we're not high their vibration is higher.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you.
I feel like the best way to talk to them is meditation or channeling.
do you feel that way, or are you asking?
Yeah. No, I do feel that way.
Oh, have you done it?
No. I haven't tried, but I feel like that's the way to go.
Yeah, initially, I mean, telepathy is on the rise.
Yeah.
So, and as the higher our planet gets in the octaves itself, the more people will become telepathic.
For sure.
And start being like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And am I going crazy? So
yes.
Feels
get ready
like
for
that
that.
at first.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
awesome.
well, it was thanks for letting me come.
Yes,
and talk to you
and we
guys.
definitely want you back soon.
Hopefully, yeah, I'm in. And I will. Next time we can have a better agenda, and I'll be like, okay, talking points.
You're fine. We love.
conversation.
Yeah, we just love
We
winging
like
it.
to just hang out.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, you guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll be back.